you have this right here, and the vertical sill that runs right along with it make an air chamber. Basically, it's a grid pattern. It's one gasket goes over the top of the other gasket to make sure there's nothing can get in that corner. It's actually really slick, really forgiving. You know what I mean? Can deal with movement, can deal with a whole lot of if everything's done right. On top of that, there's a secondary air seal that's done on the interior of the building. Back in here, that doesn't allow any air that's in the actual building, not in the wet air, but in the dry air, to not get into the building. They also, from head to head, there's going to be an 1/8 inch space for expansion and contraction. It's so that thing can move, and it's so cold weather, warm weather. They'll put a splice, an interior splice inside that. And that's kind of how a sill member fits in onto a chicken head without any of the gaskets or anything onto it. Lifting lug splice. This is a misconception. Its primary job is a splice, not a lifting lug. We just happen to be able to use them as a lifting lug, but it's more important that it is a splice than it is a lifting lug. What that does is it keeps the unit below it lined up with the unit above it and allows it to not disengage or do anything. It's more important that that's a splice than a lifting lug. We try not to even call it a lifting lug just because of that. It's more important that it's a splice. That's another style of it. This is actually on River House. This is kind of how the split moyens snap together. Here's your air seal, which is we call a crush gasket. That's the secret to it all coming together. That gasket right there, which we call crush gasket or crash gasket. Here's your bulb gaskets. All this does right here is it turns this into a chamber. Somewhat of a chamber, so that the water can escape out of there and do different things. This sill is not a primary sill. It just keeps the weather off of it, more or less. Keeps the UV rays off that gasket, keeps the wind-driven rain right off that gasket so that it don't have to work as hard as it does. But that gasket there is designed to last for 50 years. These areas right in here are your chimneys. Any area from here out is considered a wet area. Any area from there in is considered a dry area. These are your anti-buckle clips. What these do is if a seismic activity did happen and the building was falling apart, it'll keep these units from popping out. That's the one thing it does. It doesn't really hold it together or do anything. It allows it to do all the moving as long as it's straight. If it goes out at an angle or anything, it will not allow it to disengage. But they really don't do much more than that. They just keep the building from falling apart if something did happen. If a semi ran into the building or anything like that. It's kind of a drawing of a four-way intersection. There's a whole lot going on there. It's kind of hard to see everything going on, but that's showing you the booting underneath and some of the caulk details and different things. That's what that drawing was of. You see the 1/4 inch gap I'm talking about between the two chicken heads? That would be totally filled with caulk. Booting put over the top of it. These right here are your continuity notches. Continuity notch is basically because if you just caulk the edge of that, you know we caulk all our horizontals as they run into the vertical. If you just caulk the horizontal where it runs into the vertical and you go put it together, you're going to squeeze every bit of caulk that's in here out of there. All that is a secondary. We cut a groove in it that's deep to allow you to put caulk in so that the top of that stays sealed. There's actually a place for caulk so it can stand and do some things and not tear up. That's the only reason that's in there.